let's talk about something that matters, not just for the young, but for anyone growing older and still trying to understand their body. Masturbation. Yes, I said it. And no, it's not just a young man's topic or a secret teenage habit. It's a part of being human. And when you reach your 60s, 70s, or 80s, it doesn't become irrelevant. It just becomes more personal, more honest, more healing. Before we begin, I want to thank you for being here, truly. These aren't easy topics to talk about, but they're important. And if you found your way to this video, chances are you're curious. Maybe even quietly searching for answers no one else seems to offer. Oh, let's make a deal. We speak with respect. We listen with open minds. And if what I share today connects with you, even in a small way, just type 1 in the comments below. If it doesn't, that's okay too. Type 0. Your feedback helps guide the direction of this space we're building together. Now let's begin. Masturbation. It's a word that still makes many people flinch, especially when it comes up in the context of aging, that we're often taught that it's something for the young. That once we pass a certain age, our relationship with pleasure is supposed to quietly disappear. But that belief couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is, self-pleasure remains just as natural, just as human, and just as meaningful later in life. In fact, it can be even more so, because as we age, we're invited into a deeper understanding of our bodies. We begin to listen more closely, to act more gently, and to appreciate not just what we feel, but who we are in the process. Let's talk biology for a moment. As we get older, our bodies go through many changes. For women, this might mean menopause, vaginal dryness, or a shift in libido. For men, it might mean slower arousal, reduced firmness, or longer recovery times. None of this is unusual. It's part of the natural aging process. But here's the good news. Self-pleasure, when approached with mindfulness, can actually support many of these changes. Regular stimulation encourages healthy blood flow, which is essential for maintaining not just sexual function, but cardiovascular health as well. It also plays a quiet but crucial role in hormonal regulation, helping ease some of the discomforts associated with aging, such as mood swings, fatigue, sleep disturbances, irritability, sleep, and stress. The secret benefit no one talks about. One of the most overlooked benefits of self-pleasure is its effect on sleep. As many older adults know, getting a full night's rest becomes more challenging with age, but gentle self-touch, particularly when done without guilt or rush, activates a powerful biological cascade. The body releases dopamine and endorphins, which lower stress levels and encourage feelings of calm and relaxation. It's the same set of chemicals that help infants sleep after feeding, and it still works. Decades later, in other words, masturbation can be a powerful, natural sleep aid. One that doesn't require a prescription. I once met a woman named Edith. She was 74, widowed, fiercely independent, and quietly lonely. Over a cup of tea, she said, "I miss being touched. Not even romantically, just being reminded I'm alive." That moment stayed with me, because what Edith was really saying was that her body still longed for kindness, still remembered comfort, still wanted to feel like home. Now, from a health perspective, the benefits of self-pleasure are surprisingly powerful. When we engage with our own bodies in a mindful, caring way, we encourage blood flow, which supports heart and brain function, help balance hormones, easing mood swings, boosting energy, and calming anxiety, release natural feel-good chemicals like dopamine and endorphins, and perhaps most valuably, we sleep better. Yes, even that elusive deep sleep we crave in our later years. It comes easier when the body feels safe, soothed, and settled. The myths are everywhere. Older people don't need intimacy. Desire disappears after 60. Self-pleasure is embarrassing or selfish. But these beliefs, their lies dressed as tradition, and they keep too many people in silence, isolation, or even self-disgust. Let's trade them for truth. Your sexuality doesn't vanish with age. It evolves, just like your wisdom, your priorities, and your soul. You are allowed to explore pleasure in a way that's slower, deeper, more mindful, and uniquely yours. Of course, aging brings changes, stiff joints, chronic conditions, lower energy, all real and worth acknowledging. But none of these things make pleasure impossible. They simply make it different. There are tools, techniques, and gentle ways to adapt. More importantly, there's nothing wrong with needing help to rediscover this part of yourself. In fact, asking for support from doctors, therapists, or trusted friends is one of the most courageous things you can do beyond the body. Though, there is something even more sacred at play that we live in a world that glorifies youth. That tells us, subtly and overtly, that beauty, intimacy, and pleasure are reserved for the young, and that once we pass a certain age, we are meant to shrink, to fade, to become invisible. But this isn't just untrue, it's harmful, because the truth is, the need for connection doesn't vanish with time. The desire for tenderness, for intimacy, for closeness, even if only with ourselves, remains deeply human. Masturbation becomes more than a physical act. It becomes a practice. In self-compassion, a quiet declaration, I am still here. My body still matters. I still belong to myself. Let me tell you about someone I once knew, Frank. Frank lost his wife of 47 years. For months, he wandered through the house like a ghost. He wasn't looking for sex. He was grieving, aching for closeness. One day, during a support group, he shared, I just wanted to feel human again. I didn't think that was allowed anymore. But through slow healing, therapy, and deep reflection, he began exploring his own body again. Not out of lust, but out of need, for gentleness, for comfort, for peace. And you know what happened? He started sleeping better. He smiled more. His hands stopped shaking. It wasn't about replacing what was lost. It was about reconnecting, with the life still flowing through him. That said, aging does bring real hurdles. Arthritis can make certain movements painful. Chronic illness can dull sensation. Medications might interfere with arousal or desire, but that doesn't mean the journey ends. It just means we adapt. There are lubricants made for mature skin, positions that reduce strain, tools designed to support mobility or stimulate gently. And most importantly, there's permission to ask for help, whether from a doctor, therapist, or even a trusted friend. You are never too old to seek solutions for your well-being. As we move through our later years, our bodies begin to whisper what they used to shout. One of the more tender changes we face is the natural decline in hormones. For women, it's estrogen. For men, testosterone. These shifts can quietly alter how we experience intimacy. They may reduce libido, sensitivity, and arousal, and at the same time, emotional health. Our old companion's anxiety, loneliness, or depression can also show up and take space. You may begin to feel less confident, less interested in pleasure, less connected to yourself or your partner. But these challenges, while very real, do not mark the end of your story. They're not a closed door. They are simply a new chapter. And healing begins when we allow ourselves to talk about it. Speak openly, to listen gently, and to remember that our sexuality didn't end with youth, it just evolved. Aging is a natural part of life, but it does not have to mean saying goodbye to joy, sensuality, or self-expression. In fact, it can become a time of powerful awakening, a time to peel away the false stories we were told about what we should not do, and instead step fully into who we are. Body, mind, and spirit. Older adults have a sacred opportunity to redefine their relationship with pleasure, to rediscover themselves, to reclaim what was always theirs: the right to feel good, to feel whole, to feel worthy of touch. Let us step into this chapter of life with more than just grace. Let us enter it with confidence, self-respect, and a renewed sense of vitality. Too often, growing older is treated like a gradual dimming, but the truth is it can be a time of powerful self-discovery, and that includes an honest look at something many still hesitate to discuss: masturbation. For older adults, this is not just about release, it is about comfort, healing, and connection. It is about reconnecting with your body, not as it once was, but as it is now, with wisdom, depth, and resilience. And if you are still here watching, I invite you to type 1 in the comments. Let me know you are walking this path with me. Aging and the body, more than physical shifts. With age comes change. Circulation slows, hormones shift, and the body moves differently. Estrogen and testosterone, those silent architects of desire, decline naturally. And with those changes can come uncertainty. Libido fades, sensitivity lowers sometimes. Even the will to pursue pleasure begins to feel out of reach. But here is the truth: none of this is the end. It is a transition, not a disappearance. And you are not alone in navigating it. Masturbation is far more than just a moment of pleasure. It is a biological gift, and its benefits are well documented. It increases blood flow, helping nourish your organs and keep your heart strong. It supports cardiovascular health by ensuring oxygen reaches every part of your body, something that is even more vital as circulation naturally declines. It triggers the release of dopamine and oxytocin, reducing anxiety, easing depression, and enhancing overall well-being. And let us talk about sleep. For many older adults, restful sleep becomes elusive, but masturbation acts as a natural sedative, gently calming the mind and preparing the body for deeper rest. Surprisingly, there is also evidence suggesting that regular sexual activity, including solo pleasure, strengthens the immune system by increasing antibody production. So yes, self-touch can literally help your body fight off illness. But perhaps the greatest benefits of masturbation are not physical at all. They are emotional. In the quiet of your own space, you can reconnect not just with sensation, but with yourself. In a world that too often marginalizes older adults, especially when it comes to sexuality, masturbation becomes a radical act of self-acceptance. It says, I am still here, I still matter, I still feel. And for those facing the loneliness of widowhood, the pain of divorce, or the quiet evolution of a long relationship, masturbation can become a source of comfort, healing, and empowerment. It is a way to care for yourself, to hold your own hand when no one else is around, to say, I have not given up on myself. Society often tells a damaging lie that sexuality belongs to the young, that as we age, our sensuality should fade, become quiet, invisible, or non-existent. But that belief is not only false, it is harmful. Sexual energy does not vanish with time. It evolves. It becomes more soulful, more reflective, more tuned into emotional intimacy than physical intensity. Pleasure in later life is about presence, awareness, and connection, not performance, and that kind of pleasure, it lasts. Masturbation, far from being irrelevant or indulgent, becomes a celebration of survival, a declaration that your body still belongs to you. Yes, aging brings its own set of challenges. Men may face erectile difficulties, women may notice vaginal dryness or lowered arousal, but those are not barriers. They are invitations to explore new tools and techniques, lubricants designed for mature skin, pelvic floor exercises to restore sensation, intimacy aids, or toys made for aging hands or limited mobility. Even medical options for hormonal support when appropriate. The key is not to stop seeking intimacy, it is to approach it differently. Masturbation, being private and pressure-free, is a safe space to learn what still feels good, what has changed, and what has not. Touch is a language, and masturbation is a form of listening. It gives you time to explore, to rediscover what brings comfort, what sparks joy, what still stirs something deep inside. This is self-care at its most intimate, not just lighting a candle or taking a bath, but honoring your body's whispers and following them with patience and compassion. And when you do that, you begin to see yourself differently. You are no longer just an aging body. You are a being still capable of joy, still deserving of pleasure, still beautiful in every stage of life. Sadly, the shame around sexuality in older adulthood is still very real. Many feel isolated, believing their desires are unnatural or worse, inappropriate. But that is not the truth. Sexuality is a lifelong journey, and the desire for intimacy, whether shared or solo, is not something we grow out of. It is something that grows with us. By speaking openly, we help dismantle these harmful myths. We give others permission to breathe, to feel, to explore without guilt. Your body did not stop being yours at 60 or 70 or 80. It is still yours to cherish, to comfort, and to celebrate. Because in this stage of life, masturbation becomes more than just a moment of physical release. It becomes a quiet act of self-respect, a private ritual of comfort, and a gateway to emotional healing and well-being. As we age, our bodies and minds undergo changes, some expected, others surprising. We face new challenges, both physical and emotional, but embracing every part of who we are, including our sexuality, can turn these years into a time of discovery, growth, and renewal. If you are still with me and this message is resonating with you, go ahead and comment one below. Let me know you are here, because this conversation matters. Now let us explore the benefits of masturbation, not just in theory, But in practice, from a physical standpoint, the science is clear: masturbation promotes healthy blood flow, which becomes even more important as we age, and circulation naturally slows. That means better cardiovascular health, improved oxygen delivery, and enhanced energy throughout the body. It also stimulates the release of powerful feel-good hormones like oxytocin and dopamine, which help reduce stress, lift our mood, and ease feelings of anxiety. And for those struggling with sleep, a common issue in later years, masturbation can serve as a natural and gentle sleep aid. It relaxes both the body and the nervous system, helping you drift off more easily into restful sleep. Surprisingly, to some, it may even strengthen your immune system. Yes, studies suggest that regular sexual activity, including masturbation, increases the production of immune cells. It is a quiet way to support your body's defenses and overall vitality. But beyond all that, beyond the biology and the hormones, there is something even more meaningful emotionally. Masturbation can be deeply healing in a world that often ignores or diminishes the desires of older adults. Self-pleasure becomes a gentle declaration: I matter, my body still matters, my pleasure still matters. It can be a powerful comfort in times of loneliness. It can be a reminder of your body's capacity for joy. It can even help ease the emotional wounds of widowhood, divorce, or the natural changes in intimacy that come with aging. Too often, society equates sexual energy with youth, leaving many to feel invisible, ashamed, or unworthy of desire. But the truth is, sexual energy never disappears, it evolves. It becomes more personal, more intentional, more tender. It becomes less about performance and more about presence, less about proving and more about feeling. It becomes a sacred space for you, with you, far from being frivolous. Masturbation is a celebration of your ongoing capacity for intimacy, joy, and connection. It says, I am still alive, I am still worthy, and I am still beautifully human. Of course, aging brings changes. For men, that might mean erectile dysfunction or lowered libido. For women, it could involve vaginal dryness or shifting sensations due to hormonal changes. These shifts can make traditional sexual encounters feel different, sometimes more challenging, but they do not signal the end of intimacy, not even close. In fact, they open the door to something more nuanced, more creative, more in tune with your evolving needs. Masturbation, because it is private and self-guided, allows you to explore those changes without pressure. You can discover what feels good now, not what used to or what is expected, and tools like lubricants, pelvic floor exercises, and even medical support can enhance comfort and pleasure along the way. Emotionally, it helps you stay connected to your body, not as something fading, but as something wise, resilient, and still full of life. And in a society that often tries to render older people invisible, this quiet act of self-intimacy becomes a powerful affirmation of self-worth. It says you are not less because of your age. You are more experienced, more intuitive, more in tune with what truly matters. Unfortunately, stigmas still persist. Sexuality in older adulthood remains a taboo subject in many communities, but that silence comes at a cost. Grace and an unshakable sense of vitality. Let this be your reminder: every stage of life holds the potential for joy, connection, and self-discovery. Masturbation in older adulthood is often misunderstood, but in truth, it transcends physical pleasure. It becomes a deeply personal journey, a return to self, a path of empowerment, a bold reclamation of one's inherent beauty and value. It is a quiet but powerful act of defiance against societal norms that try to silence conversations about intimacy. Later in life, it reminds us joy does not retire with age, connection does not fade, it deepens, and self-love, it becomes more meaningful, more soulful, more necessary. For many older adults, this practice becomes a sacred gateway, not just to pleasure, but to rediscovering themselves in ways they never had the time, courage, or awareness to explore in their younger years. Because let us be honest, life pulls us outward. We build careers, raise families, carry responsibilities, and somewhere along the way, the quiet, intimate relationship we have with ourselves often falls to the background. Masturbation offers a safe and private space to rekindle that relationship, to reconnect with the body as it is now wise, resilient, and still worthy of love. And touch. It is a deeply healing act, one that can restore confidence, encourage self-exploration, and reaffirm this simple truth: you have the right to feel joy, comfort, and desire at any age, because masturbation is not just a physical act, it is an affirmation of self-worth, a reminder that pleasure is not reserved for the young. It is a vital part of a vibrant, fulfilling life. Through it, older adults can reclaim their autonomy, restore inner confidence, and rediscover the strength and sensitivity still alive within their bodies. For many, this becomes a form of empowerment, especially in a world that so often seeks to make aging invisible. Engaging in self-pleasure is a radical act of self-respect, a celebration of the enduring human capacity for joy and a gentle rebellion against outdated beliefs about sexuality in later life. If you are still watching this video and these words are speaking to you, go ahead and comment below. Let me know you are here with me, because while personal pleasure is a beautiful and life-affirming experience, the heart often still longs for deeper connection, whether through meaningful friendships, the unwavering love of family, or the gentle intimacy of companionship. These relationships form the emotional foundation of a fulfilled life, and finding a balance between self-love and connection with others is the key to emotional and mental well-being. When practiced mindfully and in moderation, masturbation becomes part of a holistic approach to health and happiness. It complements other essential aspects of life: physical activity, emotional resilience, and rich social connection. Research consistently shows that self-pleasure offers many benefits: improved mood, reduced stress, enhanced sleep quality, and stronger sexual health, all of which contribute to greater vitality and longevity. However, like all things, moderation matters. While masturbation has many positive effects, overindulgence can lead to emotional exhaustion, physical fatigue, or even social withdrawal. As our bodies naturally slow with age, excessive self-stimulation can leave us feeling depleted, making it harder to enjoy the richness of other experiences: a walk with a friend, laughter with family, or the simple joy of being present in the moment. Recognizing these limits is not about shame or guilt. It is about creating balance, about living fully and intentionally. Sadly, many older adults still face stigma and outdated ideas that make it difficult to embrace their sexuality. These false beliefs tell us that aging means the end of desire, that older individuals no longer want or deserve pleasure, but that is simply not true. These myths silence healthy conversation and can cause deep feelings of shame or unworthiness. They rob people of the right to know their own bodies, to ask questions, to express needs without fear. Challenging these outdated ideas is not optional. It is essential. Older adults deserve the same freedom to explore and express their sexuality as anyone else. Creating a culture that normalizes these conversations, that educates, supports, and empowers is how we build a society where aging is honored, not hidden, because sexuality is not bound by youth. It is part of being human, and the desire for intimacy, whether shared or solo, is something that grows with us, not something we grow out of. By embracing practices like masturbation and other forms of intentional intimacy, older adults can cultivate self-acceptance, emotional healing, and a renewed connection with their own bodies. This understanding invites us to approach aging with confidence, to see it not as decline, but as a deepening. As a society, we must create spaces where older adults feel safe, seen, and supported, dispelling myths, fostering inclusivity, and encouraging open dialogue. These are not just nice things to do, they are acts of justice, dignity, and compassion. When seen in this light, masturbation is more than just a private act. It is a celebration of life, a source of comfort, and a quiet declaration that love, especially self-love, has no expiration date. For those navigating the complexities of aging and sexuality, let this truth remain with you: there is no one-size-fits-all path. Your journey is yours, shaped by your experiences, your values, and your desires. What matters most is that you honor that journey. Aging with grace means embracing your whole self, mind, body, and spirit. It means celebrating the richness of life at every stage, without shame, without apology. Masturbation in older adulthood is not just about reclaiming pleasure, it is about reclaiming life. It is a reminder that even as your body changes, your capacity for joy, for intimacy, and for discovery is endless. By embracing this natural, life-affirming practice, you enrich your experience, deepen your wisdom, and move forward with renewed purpose. And in doing so, you do not just heal yourself, you help change the story. You help society see aging not as the end, but as a new chapter, full of growth, empowerment, and celebration. So, now I ask you, what stood out to you today? What did you learn? And how might this conversation help you honor your needs moving forward? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video meaningful, do not forget to like it, share it, and subscribe to our channel. Together, we can challenge stigma, break down barriers, and build a space where aging is not feared, it is celebrated. Thank you for walking this journey with me, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.